for every possible advantage here today. Gentlemen.
Thank you, Art. There you see Jeremy McGrath, the current points leader, leading Jeff Emig by 18 as we head into this. Jeremy with 4 overall victories on the season. And what are they doing right there at this last minute at the line, David?
It looks like they're topping off the gas tank, just making sure he's got enough fuel. And right there, Jeff Emig doesn't have a motorcycle to ride.
I wonder what's going on there.
I don't know. You can see there's a little bit of rain starting to come down. That's the reason for the umbrellas, of course. And possibly just started. Maybe he wants to choose a different tire, or it could be anything, but I'm assuming that's what it would be.
Maybe a final suspension adjustment, or is that something you could do on the line?
No, you can't do anything like that. I would be inclined to think that he's going to go with a different tire. You can see the rain right there coming down pretty hard now, sideways, a little wind involved. Probably a tire.
And you can also see the hand guards that a lot of the competitors were in, especially Mike Kudrowski. Remember last year his run for the championship was ended when he was roosted by a rock and knocked himself out for quite a while. We are getting set for the start of Moto number 1 here at Unadilla, and we'll be back with that right after this. Welcome back to the Ford Motor Company AMA 250cc Motocross at Unadilla. John Kernan, David Bailey, and Art Ekman getting ready. The signboard goes down. One mention, Greg Albertine, the 3-time world champion, not on the line. He broke a bone in his wrist at Troy, and the gate is down, and there they go. Coming around the first turn, looks like Jeremy McGrath, who's out in front. Look at Larry Ward on the outside. Mike Jones also in there. Jeff Emig off to a clean start as everybody makes it around the first turn. But look at this, David. Ward quickly on the first lap gets around Jeremy, but Jeremy says he wants it back. They get together. McGrath goes down, and Ward scoots out into the lead. Boy, what a mess right there as you see the riders, even Damon Bradshaw having problems negotiating that hay bale. And look at Jeremy. He's all the way back, probably 38th or 39th. He has a long way to go to ride his way back to the front spot.
Well, we mentioned before, John, and whenever it's raining, vision's always a problem, and right now he's dead last. So you can guarantee he's going to be having a face full of mud, and you can see the concern on his mechanic's face right there.
Well, he's already catching a little bit back up to the pack as he's admired well far back. But there's a look at your leader, Larry Ward, and look at Jeff Emig, second in the points coming in here. He was trailing McGrath by 18, and right now, if this race ended, he would pick up a bunch. In fact, he would actually take over the points lead. But there's still 30 minutes to go in this moto, plus 2 laps, so McGrath has plenty of time to work his way back toward the front.
Well, also, he couldn't have picked a better place to get a bad start, because you can see how wide the track is and the choice and wide variety of lines right there. He should be able to work his way up well into the top 15, probably in the first lap. And it'd be tough to catch the leaders, but on a track like this, anything's possible.
There you see in the third place with John Dowden. Let's take another look at that start.
Well, it looks like Jeremy's got the whole shot nice and clean right here, but Larry Ward's going to go out and take it. He just threads the needle between Mike Jones and those fence stakes right there. Carries more speed around that big sweeper and takes the inside line. And right here, looks like he goes over the berm, and Jeremy tries to find an opening, but
no opening there, is
yeah,
there?
it closed right back off, caught him by surprise, and hit his back tire on high side, and it looks like right there Mike Jones could have just about run over Jeremy's hand, so he's lucky to escape that without any kind of a worse incident.
Well, look at Jeremy mired back in the field, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's already made up, what, about 15, 20 spots. That's pretty amazing.
Well, Jeremy's obviously capable of running a much faster pace in these back markers, and like I said, because of the different lines, you see he's able to go pretty much anywhere he wants to on the racetrack and carrying the kind of speed he can.
Oh, and there's a bike down. It looks like, is that Damon Bradshaw? Also another rider also down, and as soon as he turns it, well, that's Jeff Domenis down and Bradshaw. Man, Bradshaw has had tough going since coming back. Not exactly sure what precipitated that, but Bradshaw still having problems getting his bike going again. It looks like, is he just going to push it off to the side? Well, it looks like maybe the clutch lever bent. He's got to bend that back into place.
Well, it's been a pretty tough season, like you said, John, for Damon. I mean, he's got the speed to go up and run with these guys, but when he gets a good start, he goes down, and the rest of the time he's not getting good starts. He's always got to come from behind.
John Dowd off to a pretty good start. He's in third. Kudrowski is in fourth. Kudrowski trying to chase him down. And don't you know, Mike would love to finish out the rest of this season on a very strong note. He won the second Outdoor National of the Year out at Hangtown, but his record so far this year hasn't been what he would like. He tries to move on the outside around Dowd, but the rear wheel slips out a little bit from underneath him, and he didn't get the bite that he needed to make that drive.
Right, well, it's just tough to find a good line. When you get down past that loam, you get onto that rocky surface, and it's actually really slick. Right there, you get a shot of Jeff Emig running up in front of these guys. But Larry Ward has finally gotten a good start, and he's taking advantage of it right now. He's just not even on our screen.
Well, Larry Ward, best finish this year in the outdoors, been a 5th at Gainesville. Now, he was mired back in like the 9th, all the way back to 17th at Mount Morris. But Troy, he was up in the 6th, so he is off to a really good start for this moto, but it's getting late in the season. But John Dowd trying to chase him down. Now we get back up front to Ward. And speaking of chasing him down, look at Jeff Emig. He has closed the gap. Remember the last time, oh, look at the rear wheel wash out and around. That's pretty tough to make up time when you're getting knocked around like that, isn't it, David?
Well, you can expect that on a racetrack like this. It's probably the roughest racetrack there is. I mean, Southwick is rough in terms just because of the sand and those whoop-de-doos, but here the bumps aren't consistent. You got some round ones, you got some sharp ones, you got rocks in there. It's real challenging, and right there you can just see how out of shape you can get. These guys are aggressive. You can see they're going for it.
Well, Emig's right now going for the lead, but he's going to have to find a way to get around Larry Ward. You know, a great crowd on hand here this weekend watching. Look at Emig is going on the outside right there. I guess a little bit smoother right there, but he still can't get the drive off the turn as they come back up the hill.
Well, as you start down that downhill, actually, I remember the first time I ever came here, I couldn't believe the track actually went down that hill. You can't believe how steep it is. And just found a smoother line, find another smoother line right there, but he had to go wider, and Larry Ward takes it back.
Well, Ward getting back out in front, and look, John Dowd has now moved into this challenge for first place, and Mike Kudrowski is not too far behind. It's Ward, Emig, Dowd, Kudrowski almost running wheel to wheel. Look at this, man. It is really heated up, and we are just in the early stages as Emig once again tries to get around Larry Ward. It is Ward, Emig, Dowd, Kudrowski, LaRocco in the top 5 as you take a look at our top 10 on the Suzuki Field Summary. Back with more after this. ESPN Speedway welcomes you back to New Berlin, New York, Unadilla, where we have a great battle up front for the lead. 4 riders in contention for the top spot, and there you see the 5th rider coming into play. That's the defending national champion, Mike LaRocco. But right now, Larry Ward is out front. Jeff Emig trying to find the line, but he's also got to worry about protecting second because John Dowd's right behind him. Or do you worry about protecting second this early?
Well, you just want to protect yourself from the roost coming off of Larry Ward for one thing, but you got to take into consideration when you take a different line. John Dowd's in striking distance, so if he takes a slower line, Dowd could slide in there and take the spot away. Also, LaRocco won both motos here last year, so if Emig can get around Larry Ward right now and check out, maybe it'd be tougher for LaRocco to catch him.
He's trying it right there. He tried to dive inside to make the move into the lead, and look, they're neck and neck, but Emig is going to have a slight advantage. They come into the right-hander, and Jeff Emig makes the pass, reaches up, wipes off the vision on his goggles. Emig has now moved into first place. Ward is in second, and look back in that battle for third, Dowd trying to hold off Mike Kudrowski, but Jeff Emig has taken over the point here in the early going. Art Ekman is down in his pits with Steve Butler.
Steve, just a phenomenal race for first place. Lady Luck played a little bit of part of it, but talent also put your man Jeff Emig up on top.
Yeah, it looks like he's trying pretty hard, a few little mistakes, but I think that it was good that it was behind. He was able to test some of his line and just see how fast he was, and hopefully he can pull away.
I don't think he's going to have much success in pulling away. Look at this. We have a 5-bike freight train up front here at Unadilla.
You got the fastest rider at times in the world, #1 rack back there, as I mentioned already, the race defending champion here at Unadilla, stalking these guys and not really able to make up that much time, so that tells me the pace is quick.
And that's exactly what you'd expect when you've got 5 of the best motocross riders in the world doing battle. And by far, this is the best moto so far this year. Jeff Emig out in front. Remember, his first year on the 250s, he's second in points. And you look at that and you say, hey, where's Jeremy McGrath? Well, Jeremy had a little incident with Larry Ward on the first lap, went down, lost a bunch of spots, but he's busy trying to work his way through the field. And there's the message, push early for Mike Kudrowski. That's Brian Lunas. His mechanic, Kudrowski, is trying right now to hold off his Kawasaki Green teammate, Mike LaRocco. But things are shaping up for a really great moto here in #1. Let's go down to the Kawasaki pits with Art Ekman.
Well, Brian, just when I think the desire of Michael Kudrowski is waning, he gets a great start here at Unadilla.
Well, he likes his track. It's more of a natural track than a man-made supercross, and the outdoor races, that's where he excels at. So I think a lot of guys get real excited here that they're real and true outdoor racers.
And to put the signings of two young 250 riders like Huffman and Hughes behind him, that's another advantage.
Yeah, I think that's a lot of motivation also. You know, you got to step up to the pace. If you don't, you get run over in this business.
Well, what Art's talking about is Ryan Hughes and Damon Huffman have been signed to the Kawasaki team. Looks like they'll be riding the 250 class. And what's going to happen to Mike Kudrowski? You know, that's going to be a pretty big team, and like Brian said, it's a lot of incentive for him to go out there and go fast. The faster he goes, the better if he wants to keep his ride.
Well, Kudrowski, 26 years old, you got to believe that his career is winding down. I mean, he's won 4 national championships. What more does he have to prove?
Right. I mean, if I had 4 national championships, a title in each class, and a Testarossa in my garage, I might not even show up here.
All right, here's the battle for 4th place right now. Kudrowski's gotten around Dowd, moved into 3rd, and now Dowd's going to have to contend with Kudrowski's teammate, Mike LaRocco. By the way, next year going to the Suzuki camp. There you get a look at the tires there, just the difference with the knobs and stuff.
Well, I think that's just wheels standing by. You see all these guys walking around with headsets. If one of these guys wants to cut a tire on one of those rocks out there, these guys would run it over to the mechanics area and make a wheel change. They can't do it as fast as they do it in something like NASCAR, but they can make that change if it's early in the race.
So that's a big concern here with cutting the tires with the rock getting in there, huh?
Oh, you bet. I mean, the rocks are sharp. It's like shale, and it can cut a tire, and you know, it's hard to ride around the entire race with a flat tire.
Well, we certainly wouldn't want something like that to happen to ruin this great Moto #1. Top 5 riders are almost nose to tail, you could say, and John Dowd still doing a pretty good job holding off Mike LaRocco. There's your leader, Jeff Emig, followed by Larry Ward, Kudrowski, then Dowd, then LaRocco. As you take a look at the top 10 on our Suzuki Field Summary. Back with more from Unadilla in just a minute. Welcome back to Unadilla, New Berlin, New York. Things are really, oh, look at that. Mike Kudrowski, the 3rd place rider, has fallen down and lost 2 spots.
That's a slick spot right there. Coming into that corner, I've noticed already earlier John Dowd got pretty sideways right there. It's, like I said, when you get down to that rock, or it's more like shale, it's really slick. So it got the better of Mike.
Well, plus there's been a little bit of rain, and it's, I guess it's not really muddy, but let's take another look right here. You see Kudrowski in front.
Right at the top of the screen, actually both wheels washed out. The front wheel, he kind of lost more, but that's just another example of how slick it is. And John Dowd had to go around the outside of him through all that mud, so he did a nice job of getting through there fast.
Well, Dowd has moved back into the 3rd spot. Remember, Kudrowski had gotten around him, and there is LaRocco. Looks like LaRocco's lost a little bit of ground to Dowd.
Well, Dowd, like I said, he had to go around the outside of Kudrowski right through all that mud, held off LaRocco, and has put some time on him. So I would be inclined to think that LaRocco made a mistake somewhere and lost that time. He'll probably gain it back.
Well, LaRocco, of course, last year the overall winner, winning both motos, but right now he's trying to chase down John Dowd. Then he has to worry about Larry Ward before he can get back to the front spot, which at the present time is being held by Jeff Emig. And, man, just the separation between these 4 bikes, the top 4 riders, is probably not more than a couple of seconds. They're really tight.
Yeah, no one's able to get away. I thought when Emig got to the lead, he might be able to pull away. Earlier it looked like Larry Ward was going to pull away. They reeled him in, and I got to wonder what this would have been like had McGrath and Bradshaw been able to stay up on the first lap.
Oh, this is great. That would have been fantastic, I would say. But, David, you talked earlier about the lines. Well, let me put that thought on the shelf. We'll go back a little further in the pack. Jeremy McGrath, who had worked his way into 9th just before the break, he's trying to work his way around Kyle Lewis. Kyle also off with a pretty good start, but remember, Jeremy got knocked down as he went into Larry Ward early on in this moto, all the way back to last place, and has had to make his way back through the pack. He's gotten back up into the points, and Emig out in front right now. I don't have my calculator, but I think Emig would either close the gap considerably or maybe even take over the lead as it stands right now if the moto were to end.
Right, I think Jeremy knows that. You know what, just watching Jeremy's rhythm right here, he looks terrible. He doesn't look good at all. He's hitting the holes wrong. He's not in the fastest lines. He's not carrying that much speed. Normally he'd be able to pass Kyle Lewis no problem, and that's got to be a big concern for the Honda camp, because if he doesn't catch up and figure out what these leaders are doing, it's going to be hard for him to find his rhythm in the second motor.
Right now, Larry Ward is trying to chase down Jeff Emig, but John Dowd's right behind him. Let me get back to that thought. You said earlier there are so many different lines. There's not one quick way around this track, is there?
No. I mean, usually there's about a foot-wide path, and that's the fastest. And you hear the guys saying, well, it's one line or it was hard to pass. You won't hear that here at Unadilla.
Well, right now, Emig is out in front, but he's yet to really put on a big lead. But, David, he looks like he's riding really well.
Well, I just like the lines that he's choosing. You saw he just kind of hopped over that hole right there, and he's just putting the bike where he wants. You see right there, he's riding right next to the fence post, looking for grass and smoother lines, and it's paying off.
Well, right now, look at Larry Ward. He is fading. He has dropped all the way back to 4th as John Dowd has gotten around, and then LaRocco gets around just in the matter of a couple of turns. I wonder if Larry's arms are pumped up or what the problem might be.
Well, he did look like as he came around that corner, he wasn't as aggressive as he's been, so it's hard to say. I don't think that his arms would pump up all of a sudden like that, because he's had this pressure the whole moto. It could be bike problems, or he may just made a mistake and lost his rhythm.
Well, he's losing just a little bit of ground as Larry Ward drops all the way back into the 4th spot after running in 2nd. Remember, he led the first few laps of this moto. And there you get a look at, I guess, the wives and the mechanics, or the wives and the girlfriend area.
Right, the girl there in the middle, I noticed she had her fingers crossed. My wife, Gina, used to cross all four
of her fingers?
All 8 of her fingers. She'd cross some one way and the other one's the other way. Then she'd put her hands together and cross all that and kind of nibble on her thumbs.
What about the toes?
It's a good luck thing for me or not. Well, I don't think she's that much of a contortionist. But at the times when she would do that, I would do well. And she also had a little curse she used to put on some of the other guys, and occasionally that would work.
What was it? A little doll that you would, like a Brock Glover doll, she'd stick needles in?
Actually, it was a little saying she had. It was just like a booga booga kind of a thing, and it actually caused Brock to crash in the last lap one time and gave him the overall win.
Well, look at this. We've got a change of position in the 2nd spot. LaRocco, remember we told you he would be fast. He gets around Dowd, but look, Dowd coming back around, and then Dowd, the bike washes out just a little bit on the berm, and LaRocco gets back around as they are trying to chase down Jeff Emig, but right now they are hot and heavy in this battle for 2nd place.
And LaRocco charged down that downhill, and I can tell you it's tough to get stopped at the bottom. He barely made that corner, and Dowd almost got back by him.
Well, LaRocco is stabilized now in the 2nd spot, at least as stable as we've seen things get here at Unadilla in Moto number 1. There's a look at the top 10. McGrath now moved up to 7th as you look at our Suzuki field summary. Back at Unadilla, closing stages, Moto number 1. What has to go down in the books is one of the most exciting motos all year long. Jeff Emig continues to be your leader. Remember, Jeremy McGrath off to a bad start. He is working his way through the pack, but all eyes focused on Emig, and Art Ekman is down in his pits.
Well, Steve Talent has put Jeff Emig in 1st place, but Lady Luck with McGrath going down helped out. But also, what was wrong with the bike at the very start? They held up the race.
Well, it wasn't actually a problem. It was just a decision that Jeff wanted to change a front tire. We also wanted to change a rear, but I just elected to do the front one, and barely made it back there in time.
All done within the legal time limits. Now, what about this race at point right now?
Well, it's good that Jeff's out in front, and hopefully he can make some points on Jeremy being back there, but Jeremy is still working up, so, and we'll just have to see.
Well, I'm sure that Emig is aware that McGrath is back in the pack and that this is a perfect opportunity for him to make up some points.
Well, it's nice when you're leading the moto and then you come around and give you a signal board that McGrath crashed in the 1st lap. Puts a pretty big smile on your face when you're trying to close into the points lead.
Right now, McGrath is in a heated battle. 7th and 8th is up for grabs. And McGrath takes the inside line and gets around Dobb and moves into that 7th place. And David, let's do a little points math right now. 7th place, Emig is running 1st. That's a differential of 11 points. That would cut McGrath's lead in the championship standings to just 7.
Well, I can guarantee you Jeremy doesn't like it. He's probably fuming under that helmet, and he's put on a pretty good ride coming from nearly dead last. You see the concern of Wes McCoy, that's the team manager at Honda, on the radio. I don't know what he's talking about, but I'm sure he wants to get McGrath up a couple more spots before the end of this moto.
Yeah, I started to say he's not talking to McGrath. They don't have radios riding along on board with them right now. But McGrath has moved back into 7th spot. Emig is out in front. LaRocco has moved into the 2nd spot. But everybody focusing on the ride of Jeremy McGrath as he tries to work his way toward the front. Time now for this week's Honda Riding Tip.
This week we're going to take a look at picking lines and passing. And the most important thing to remember when you're in deep traffic, as you see McGrath right here, is not to follow. You see McGrath right there working his way in and out of those riders. Careful not to follow any of them. Watch LaRocco right here cut out of this berm early. Takes advantage of John Dowd going a little wide. He's able to dodge that roost, take an inside line, and make a clean pass. Next, we're going to watch Greg Albertine work again on John Dowd. He's going to come up the inside. There's no room, so he's going to move to the outside, carry more speed around this sweeper. And remember, passing isn't always done under full throttle. Right here under heavy braking, Greg Albertine taking the inside line. Make sure he stays in that berm so that John Dowd can't cut back underneath him. And watch Ryan Hughes right here. He's positioned himself to the inside of Mike Healy right there. Kind of muscles his way into the inside, takes over that better line, and makes the pass. Right here, Jeremy's made the pass on Jeff Emig as they go over the jump down to the corner, but watch Emig. He's going to try and retaliate, cuts back across the inside, getting a little creative there, forces Jeremy into a mistake. He possibly could have retaken that position. Remember, be creative and don't follow.
Well, that's easy for you to say, but Mike LaRocco right now is following Jeff Emig. And Emig, let's see, can't get a good shot of where he is, but he has pulled out a fairly comfortable lead as we get ready to start the final lap of Moto number 1.
And the fact that LaRocco's running in second right here is that's even better news, because that puts Jeremy back one more position. Remember, we've touched on it before, the fact that when LaRocco finishes in between Emig and McGrath, he really affects the points.
Well, McGrath, of course, got off to that good start, then went down and had to fight his way back. He has fought his way back into the top 10, but he's still going to lose some ground in the point standings to this man right here, Jeff Emig, trying to notch another Moto victory. I've been very impressed with the way he has performed since coming up from the 125s to the 250s. Checkered flag is out, and Jeff Emig picks up the win here at Unadilla in Moto number 1 with a very, very good performance. Not exactly what you call dominating, but considering how close this Moto was, very impressive. LaRocco, Dowd, Kedrowski, McGrath round out your top 5, and as you take a look at the remainder of the top 10, Art Ekman has caught up with the winner.